What if the most powerful man is not the one who wins every argument, but the one who refuses to be drawn into an argument at all? True strength is not reacting to the chaos of the world, but embodying an inner code of such profound peace that the chaos cannot touch you. The Inner Code of Unreactive Men, Stoicism, compiled and published by Stoic Dominion. Lesson 1. Foundations of Unshakable Calm. Imagine a great, ancient lighthouse standing on a granite cliff, facing the open sea. For centuries, it has endured 1,000 storms. Hurricanes have thrown their full, chaotic fury against its walls, and colossal waves have crashed against its base. Yet, after every storm, the lighthouse still stands, its light still shining, its foundation completely unmoved. Its strength does not come from its ability to fight the storm, but from the depth and solidity of its foundation, which is anchored to the very bedrock of the earth. This is the inner conflict that defines the modern struggle for peace. We are the lighthouse, but we have built ourselves on soft sand. We have anchored our sense of well-being to the shifting, unstable ground of external events, our career, our relationships, the opinions of others. The problem is that when the inevitable storms of life hit, when we are faced with a setback, a criticism, or a loss, our sandy foundation is washed away, and our entire inner structure collapses into a state of reactive turmoil. We are consumed by anxiety, anger, and despair because we have no deep internal bedrock to hold us steady. A life built on the sand of external circumstances is a life of guaranteed instability. The first and most fundamental law of an unreactive life is to become the lighthouse keeper and the architect of your own soul, to begin the great work of building the foundations of an unshakable calm. This is the practice of excavating all the soft sand of your external attachments and driving the pillars of your being deep into the solid internal bedrock of Stoic principles. The core idea here, the very heart of Stoic philosophy, is that a tranquil mind is not a gift. It is an accomplishment. It is the result of a deliberate and disciplined architectural choice. The Stoics taught that our inner world, our hegemonikon, or ruling faculty, is a fortress that we ourselves must build. The foundation of this fortress is the unwavering understanding that our peace of mind cannot be dependent on things we do not control. A man who wishes to become unreactive must first make the radical decision to source his stability entirely from within, from his own character, his own reason, and his own disciplined mind. This is the only bedrock that can never be eroded by the storms of fortune. To begin laying this profound foundation, you must become the master builder of your own inner world. The first actionable step is to survey your ground. Take out a journal and create 2 columns: bedrock, internal and controllable, and sand, external and uncontrollable. In the sand column, list all the external things you have been relying on for your sense of peace. Your job title, your partner's approval, your social media likes, the performance of your investments. In the bedrock column, list the internal qualities you could rely on: your discipline, your resilience, your honesty, your ability to learn. This act of sorting is the first step in seeing where your true foundation lies. The second step is to begin laying the first stone. This is a non-negotiable, daily practice of stillness. Commit to just 5 minutes of silent meditation or mindful breathing every single morning before you engage with the world. This practice is the act of clearing away the sand and preparing the ground for your foundation. The third step is to pour the concrete of wisdom. Spend 10 minutes each day reading a single page from a Stoic text, such as Marcus Aurelius's Meditations or Seneca's Letters. This daily infusion of wisdom strengthens your resolve and reminds you of the architectural principles of a well-built soul. The benefits of laying these foundations are the beginning of a profound and permanent shift in your relationship with the world. You will begin to feel a new, quiet sense of stability growing within you, a stability that is not shaken by the daily ups and downs of life. The frantic, anxious energy that comes from building on sand will be slowly replaced by the calm, solid confidence of a man who knows he is building on rock. You will have begun the most important construction project of your life. You become the wise architect who knows that a lighthouse is only as strong as its foundation, and so he dedicates his greatest and most patient efforts to the deep, unseen work that guarantees it will stand for 1,000 years. Your practice is to perform the bedrock and sand exercise. Create your list. See with your own eyes how much of your peace you have been building on unstable ground. This clarity is the first step to rebuilding. A strong foundation is essential, but it must be protected by a powerful suit of armor, a second skin that can deflect the daily blows of a chaotic world. Next, we will learn to forge your own emotional armor. To continue this journey, please like this video and subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 2. Emotional Detachment. As inner armor. Imagine a master blacksmith forging a suit of armor for a great warrior. The armor is not designed to prevent the warrior from feeling the impact of a blow. It is designed to prevent the blow from being fatal. The warrior in this armor will still feel the shock, the pressure, and the force of the enemy's sword, but the blow will glance off the hardened steel, leaving him unharmed and free to continue the fight. His armor is his shield against the chaos of battle. This is the inner conflict of a man who faces the world without emotional armor. He is the bare-chested warrior. Every insult, every criticism, every frustrating event is a direct blow to his unprotected inner self. The problem is that a man without this armor is constantly being wounded. He is easily angered, easily offended, and easily thrown off his purpose by the daily friction of life. He spends all of his energy reacting to these blows, nursing his emotional wounds, and living in a state of constant, defensive anxiety. He cannot lead, he cannot create, and he cannot maintain his own peace because he is perpetually fighting for his emotional survival on an open battlefield with no protection. The second law of an unreactive life is to become the master blacksmith of your own mind and to forge your emotional detachment as inner armor. This is the practice of building a resilient mindset that allows you to feel the impacts of life without being wounded by them. The core Stoic principle here is that of the inner citadel. The Stoics trained to create a mental fortress so strong that external events which they knew were outside their control could not breach it. This armor is not made of steel, but of perspective. It is forged from the profound understanding that it is not events themselves that harm us, but our judgments about them. The insult is the sword blow. The judgment, that was a terrible offense that diminishes my worth, is what allows the blade to cut deep. Emotional detachment is the hardened steel of your armor. It is the trained ability to see the sword blow coming, to observe it with a cool, analytical mind, and to refuse to form the judgment that says, I am harmed. It is not about pretending the blow didn't happen. It is about having armor so strong that the blow simply cannot penetrate your core. To forge this impenetrable armor, you must be a disciplined and patient smith. The first actionable step is the daily tempering of your mind through negative visualization. Spend a few minutes each morning contemplating the minor difficulties and frustrations you are likely to face. Imagine them happening. Then visualize yourself responding with perfect detached calm, as if you were watching a movie. This is a mental simulation that hardens your mind against the shock of the real event. The second step is to practice affect labeling in real time. When you feel a strong emotion begin to rise, simply label it in your mind with the cool detachment of a scientist. The sensation of anger is arising. This act of labeling separates you from the emotion, placing you in the position of the observer, not the victim. It is you, the warrior, looking at the dent in your armor, not the wound in your flesh. The third step is to create a reframing protocol. When a negative event occurs, your drilled response must be to ask the question, what is a more rational and empowering way to view this? This is you, the blacksmith, taking the dented piece of armor and hammering it back into a stronger shape. The benefits of wearing this emotional armor are a profound sense of resilience and an almost supernatural ability to remain calm under fire. You will find that the petty annoyances and frustrations of daily life, which used to wound you, now bounce harmlessly off your well-forged defenses. You will be able to handle major crises with a level of clarity and composure that will inspire those around you. You will conserve immense amounts of energy that were previously wasted on emotional drama and recovery. You become the great warrior in the heart of the battle, completely serene and effective, not because the blows have stopped, but because he knows with absolute certainty that his armor is unbreakable. Your practice for this week is to choose one recurring minor annoyance. Before it happens, practice visualizing it and see yourself responding with perfect, detached calm. Forge your armor in the fires of your imagination first. This armor protects you from the emotional impact of events. But to be a true master, you must learn to see the events themselves with a new level of clarity, long before they become a threat. Next, we will learn to read your own internal triggers without reacting to them. Your support helps us forge these lessons. Please comment below with one thing you will do to strengthen your armor. Lesson 3. Reading triggers without reacting. Imagine a veteran tracker, a master of the wild, moving through a dense and dangerous jungle. He is not just looking for the tiger itself. He knows that would be too late. He has trained his senses to perceive the subtle signs that precede the tiger's appearance. He notices a snapped twig, the sudden silence of the birds, the faint, almost imperceptible scent on the wind. These are the triggers. He reads these signs not with panic, but with a calm, heightened state of awareness. His ability to read the trigger without a panicked reaction is what allows him to prepare, to choose his ground, and to survive. This is the inner conflict of a mind that is a stranger to its own jungle. Our emotional triggers are like the tracks of the tiger. They are the small, often unconscious events that signal the approach of a powerful emotional reaction. The problem is that we are the novice tracker. We don't see the signs. We stumble through our own inner jungle, completely unaware of the triggers we are setting off, until the tiger of our own anger or anxiety is already upon us. We are perpetually ambushed by our own emotions, and this leaves us feeling powerless and out of control, a victim in a landscape we are supposed to command. The third law of an unreactive life is to become the master tracker of your own soul, to learn the art of reading your triggers without reacting. This is the practice of developing a profound self-awareness that allows you to see your emotional patterns with the calm, analytical clarity of a seasoned scout. The core Stoic principle here is that of self-knowledge as the foundation of freedom. Know thyself is the first commandment. A Stoic warrior is a relentless student of his own mind. He knows that his emotional reactions are not random. They are predictable, cause and effect phenomena. By studying his past reactions, he learns to identify the specific tracks, the specific words, situations, or even physical sensations that reliably precede an emotional outburst. This knowledge is power. It transforms the trigger from an invisible tripwire into a clearly marked signpost. And when you can see the signpost from a distance, you are no longer forced to walk down that dangerous path. You have the freedom to choose a different route. To become this master tracker, you must be a patient and honest investigator of your own inner wilderness. The first actionable step is to go on an internal safari. Take a journal and, at the end of each day for a week, write down any moment you felt a significant emotional reaction. Your goal is to be a naturalist, simply observing and recording the wildlife of your mind without judgment. The second step is to analyze your field notes. Look for the patterns. What are the recurring tracks that appear right before an emotional tiger emerges? Is it the feeling of being rushed? The tone of a particular person's voice? A feeling of hunger or fatigue? Identify your top 3 most common triggers. These are the tracks you must learn to recognize instantly. The third step is to practice the catch and label technique in real time. As you go about your day, your mission is to catch a trigger the moment it happens and to silently label it in your mind. That is the feeling disrespected trigger. This act of labeling is the act of the tracker seeing the track and calmly noting its significance, rather than screaming and running away. The benefits of this practice are a profound sense of foresight and control. You will stop being a victim of your own sudden, unpredictable moods. You will begin to see your emotional reactions coming from a long way off, giving you ample time to deploy your other strategies of calm and composure. This will dramatically reduce the frequency and intensity of your emotional outbursts. You become the master of your own jungle. You can walk through the most dangerous terrain with a serene confidence. Not because the tigers have disappeared, but because you can read their tracks so clearly that they no longer hold any power over you. Your practice is to identify just one of your recurring emotional triggers. For the next week, your only job is to become an expert at spotting that one specific track in the wild of your daily life. Reading the triggers gives you the early warning, but the true test of a warrior is what he does in the heat of the moment when the tiger has emerged from the trees. This is where stillness becomes your greatest weapon. Next, we will explore the power of silent strength in heated moments. To continue this journey, please subscribe to Stoic Dominion. Lesson 4. Silent strength in heated moments. Imagine a great blacksmith, his forge glowing with a white-hot fire. He is in the middle of shaping a complex and valuable piece of steel. The environment is one of intense, chaotic energy. The roar of the fire, the shower of sparks, the percussive clang of the hammer. An amateur in this environment would be overwhelmed. His movements would become frantic and jerky, his mind scattered by the heat and the noise. The master blacksmith, however, is a picture of profound stillness at the very heart of the fire. His breathing is steady, his focus is absolute, and his movements are economical and precise. His inner state of calm is the complete opposite of the external chaos. It is this inner stillness that allows him to command the fire, to master the steel, and to create a work of art from the chaos. This is the inner conflict that defines our performance under pressure. We find ourselves in a heated moment, a difficult argument, a sudden crisis, a high-stakes negotiation. Our instinct is to match the external heat with our own internal heat. We allow our mind to become as chaotic and as noisy as the situation around us. The problem is that a mind on fire cannot think. It is a mind that has been hijacked by its most primitive reactive impulses. By allowing the external chaos to dictate our internal state, we surrender our most powerful asset, our reason. We become the amateur, flailing in the fire, more likely to burn ourselves than to shape the steel. The fourth law of an unreactive life is to become the master blacksmith and to cultivate silent strength in heated moments. This is the discipline of creating and maintaining a pocket of profound inner stillness, precisely when the world around you is at its most chaotic. The core Stoic principle here is that your mind is your kingdom, and you are its only true sovereign. The chaos of the world is a barbarian horde at your gates. You must not allow it to breach your walls and set fire to your throne room. A Stoic warrior trains himself to see a heated moment not as a threat to his peace, but as the ultimate test of his practice. It is the final exam. Can he maintain the composure of his inner citadel while the world is at war outside? The man who can achieve this possesses a form of power that is almost supernatural. His stillness is not weakness. It is a weapon. It absorbs the frantic energy of others. It projects an aura of unshakable authority, and it keeps his own rational mind clear and sharp, ready to make the winning move. To forge this core of silent strength, you must have a clear and drilled protocol for the moment the fire erupts. The first actionable step is to immediately anchor yourself in your physical body. The heat of the moment wants to pull you into the chaotic, abstract world of your thoughts. You must resist. Bring all of your attention to a single, concrete physical sensation. The most reliable is the feeling of your feet flat on the floor. Feel the solid ground beneath you. This is your anchor to reality. The second step is to gain command of your breath. As we've discussed, a panicked mind and a calm breath cannot coexist. Your immediate priority is to consciously slow down your exhalation. Breathe in normally, but extend your exhale for as long as you comfortably can. This is a powerful physiological tranquilizer. The third step is to adopt the observer mindset. Mentally take a step back and begin to narrate the scene to yourself as if you were a documentary filmmaker. The subject's heart rate is increasing. The other person is raising their voice. This is a critical moment. This act of objective narration creates a powerful buffer between you and the raw emotion of the scene. The benefits of mastering this skill are that you will become the person who is at their best when the pressure is highest. You will be able to navigate the most difficult conversations and the most challenging crises with a level of grace and effectiveness that will seem superhuman to others. You will no longer be a victim of your own emotional reactions in heated moments. You will be the calm, cool center of the storm. This will earn you a level of respect and trust that is reserved for only the most composed and reliable of leaders. You become the master blacksmith, who is not afraid of the fire because he knows that his own inner coolness is the key to mastering it. Your practice is to anticipate one potentially heated moment this week. Before it happens, decide which of these 3 steps will be your primary anchor. Rehearse your response in your mind. This silent strength is rooted in a mind that has mastered its most primal and powerful impulse, the ego. To be truly unreactive, you must learn to control this inner tyrant. Next, we will explore the mastery over ego and impulse. If you are ready to master the fire, please like this video. Lesson 5. Mastery over ego and impulse. Imagine a powerful, wild stallion, full of untamed energy and pride. This stallion is your ego, your raw, primal impulse. An unskilled rider tries to control this horse with brute force and anger. He yanks on the reins, he shouts, and he engages in a constant, exhausting battle for dominance. He may occasionally force the horse to obey, but the relationship is one of conflict, and the horse is always just one moment away from throwing him and running wild. The master horseman, however, has a different approach. He does not seek to break the stallion's spirit. He seeks to understand it, to befriend it, and to integrate its power with his own will. His mastery is not a battle. It is a dance of profound discipline and quiet understanding. He has mastered the horse because he has first mastered himself. This is the inner conflict we face with our own ego and our impulses. We see them as a wild, powerful force within us that is constantly at war with our rational mind. The problem is that we often use the wrong approach. We either let the stallion run wild, allowing our ego and our impulses to dictate our actions, leading to a life of reactive chaos. Or we try to control it with the brute force of suppression, which is an exhausting and ultimately futile battle. The 5th law of an unreactive life is to become the master horseman and to achieve mastery over your ego and impulse. This is the subtle and powerful art of taming your own inner stallion, not by breaking its spirit, but by integrating its power with your own reasoned will. The core Stoic principle here is that our reason was given to us to be the rightful rider of our passions. The Stoics did not advocate for the elimination of emotion or pride. They advocated for their proper governance. Your ego, your desire for respect, your primal impulses for pleasure and safety, these are not inherently bad. They are powerful sources of energy. The problem arises only when the horse is riding the man. A Stoic warrior is the man who has spent years patiently and consistently training his inner stallion. He has taught it to respond to the gentle guidance of his rational will. He has not destroyed its power. He has harnessed it, and in doing so, he has become an unstoppable force. To begin this lifelong process of taming and training, you must be a patient and compassionate horseman. The first actionable step is to give your stallion a name. Externalize your ego, your reactive impulse. Call it the pride, the beast, or the impulse. When it rears its head, you can say, the beast is feeling threatened right now. This creates the crucial separation between you, the rider, and the horse. The second step is to practice impulse delay. You do not need to deny every impulse, but you must prove that you are the one in charge. When you have an urge to eat a sweet, to check your phone, to make a sarcastic comment, make a conscious decision to wait just 5 minutes. This small act of delay is you, the rider, gently pulling on the reins and reasserting your authority. The third step is to catch your ego in the act. Your ego is the part of you that feels the need to be right, to win the argument, to have the last word. In your next disagreement, your practice is to deliberately let the other person be right, even if you know they are wrong. This is a powerful exercise in starving the ego of the validation it craves. The benefits of mastering your ego are a profound sense of inner freedom and power. You will stop being a slave to your own most childish and destructive impulses. You will find a new level of peace in your relationships because you will no longer be engaged in constant ego-driven battles. You will be able to channel the immense power of your own primal energy toward your goals instead of wasting it on pointless conflicts. You become the master horseman whose unity with his powerful steed is a thing of beauty and awe. He is in complete control, not through force, but through a profound and disciplined harmony between his reason and his spirit. Your practice is to choose one small impulse you will deliberately delay today. Just once. Feel the power of being the rider, not the horse. The mastery of impulse is not a one-time event, it is a daily practice. A warrior's strength is not a gift, but a product of his daily regimen. Next, we will explore how to build the Stoic resilience every single day. Please subscribe to Stoic Dominion to continue your training. Lesson 6. Building daily Stoic resilience. Imagine a city that is renowned for its unbreachable walls. These walls were not built in a single day. They are the result of 1,000 years of patient daily labor. Every single day for centuries, a small team of masons came and laid a few more perfectly cut stones. Most days, their work was unnoticeable. A few more stones on a wall that is already miles long does not look like progress. But the master builder of the city knew that this slow, steady, and often unglamorous daily work was the only secret to creating something truly indestructible. This is the inner conflict that defines our quest for resilience. We want the unbreachable wall, but we are not willing to be the stonemason. We want to be emotionally resilient, but we are not willing to do the small, daily, and sometimes boring work that is required to build it. We wait for a moment of inspiration, or we try to cram all our self-improvement into one heroic weekend. The problem is that resilience, like a great wall, cannot be built in a day. It is the cumulative result of 1,000 small disciplined choices. A mind that is not consistently strengthened through daily practice will always be a brittle and fragile thing, no matter how inspired it feels on a Sunday afternoon. The sixth law of an unreactive life is to become the master stonemason of your own inner fortress, to commit to the great work of building daily Stoic resilience. This is the understanding that emotional strength is not an outcome you achieve, but a process you engage in every single day. The core Stoic principle here is that philosophy is a practice, an ascesis. It is not a set of ideas to be admired, but a set of exercises to be performed. A Stoic warrior is like a dedicated athlete. He knows that his strength for the great battle is not built on the day of the battle itself, but in the 1,000 quiet, disciplined training sessions that came before it. He finds his honor not in the applause of the crowd, but in the simple, private act of showing up and laying his stone for the day, even when he doesn't feel like it. This daily commitment is what transforms the soft soil of his potential into the hard, unbreachable bedrock of his character. To become this dedicated stonemason, you must fall in love with the process of laying your stones. The first actionable step is to create a minimum viable practice. This is a ridiculously small set of daily exercises that you will commit to doing no matter what. It could be 1 minute of meditation, reading one paragraph of a Stoic text, and writing one sentence in a gratitude journal. The goal is not to be impressive. The goal is to be consistent. It is better to lay one perfect stone every day than to try and build a whole wall once a month. The second step is to practice virtue spotting. Throughout your day, actively look for small opportunities to practice a key Stoic virtue. When you are in traffic, see it as a chance to practice patience. When you receive a rude email, see it as a chance to practice composure. Your entire day becomes your training ground. The third step is to conduct an evening review, as Seneca did. Before you sleep, take 2 minutes to review your day. Where did I act virtuously? Where did I fall short? What is the lesson for tomorrow? This is the act of the stonemason inspecting his day's work and planning the next. The benefits of this daily practice are the creation of a resilience that is real, deep, and unbreakable. You will build a character that is so strong and so well practiced that it can withstand any of life's storms. You will develop a profound sense of self-respect. The respect that comes from knowing you are a man who keeps his promises to himself. Your growth will be slow, it will be steady, and it will be absolutely unstoppable. You become the builder of the Great Wall, a man whose strength is so profound and so obvious to all because it has been built stone by patient stone over a lifetime of unwavering discipline. Your practice for this week is to define your own minimum viable practice. What are the 2 to 3 tiny actions you will commit to every single day to lay the stones of your own inner fortress? When you have made this daily practice your way of life, you are ready for the final and most profound stage. You are ready to embody the very stillness you have been cultivating. In our final lesson, we will explore what it means to live the code of stillness. Please like and share this video. Lesson 7. Living the code of stillness. Imagine a grandmaster of a martial art. He has practiced his art for so long that he no longer thinks about the techniques. He does not think, now I will use this block, now I will use that strike. His movements are a fluid, effortless, and perfect expression of his deep training. He has practiced the code of his art so relentlessly that he has become the code. His stillness in the face of an attack is not a conscious choice. It is his very nature. This is the final stage of our journey. The inner conflict is that even after we have learned all the laws and practiced all the techniques, it can still feel like a conscious effort. We are still the student who is actively trying to be calm, actively trying to be unreactive. We are still thinking about the rules. The problem is that as long as it is a conscious effort, a struggle, it is not yet true mastery. The ultimate goal is not to be a man who is good at using Stoicism, but to be a Stoic, a man whose actions naturally and effortlessly flow from a well-ordered and tranquil soul. The 7th and final law, the one that represents the culmination of all the others, is to begin living the code of stillness. This is the point at which the practice becomes your presence. It is the integration of all your training into a seamless and authentic way of being. The core Stoic goal was to achieve a state of eudaimonia, or human flourishing, which they described as a smooth flowing life. This is a life where your actions are in perfect, harmonious alignment with your own rational and virtuous nature. The man who lives the code of stillness is not struggling against his emotions. He is the calm, wise observer of them. He is not fighting to control his reactions. His responses are naturally composed and considered. He has so thoroughly practiced the art of being the fortress, the swordsman, and the blacksmith that he no longer needs to think about them. He simply embodies their strength. This final stage of embodiment is a lifelong journey of refinement, but it begins with a conscious shift in identity. The first actionable step is to stop doing and to start being. See every moment of your day not as a test you need to pass, but as an opportunity to simply be the calm, strong, and virtuous man you have been building. How does a Stoic drink his coffee? With presence. How does a Stoic handle a traffic jam? With acceptance. Let it become the very fabric of your existence. The second step is to find your joy in your own virtue. Your deepest sense of satisfaction must come not from any external outcome, but from the quiet, internal knowledge that you have acted with integrity, with courage, and with composure. Virtue must become its own reward. The third step is to trust your training. There comes a point where you must let go of the conscious rulebook and trust that the thousands of repetitions you have put in have created a new and better set of instincts. Trust the stillness you have built. The benefit of this final law is the achievement of a life of profound and authentic power. You will no longer be a man at war with himself. You will move through the world with a quiet, effortless grace, a powerful stillness that is deeply attractive and profoundly effective. You will have built a character that is so solid and so true that it becomes a source of stability and inspiration for everyone around you. You become the grandmaster, whose every move is a perfect expression of a lifetime of discipline. His power is not in what he does, it is in who he has become. Your final practice is a commitment. It is to see yourself from this day forward, not as a man who is trying to be unreactive, but as an unreactive man who is simply living his code. The unreactive man is not an emotionless man. He is a warrior who has so thoroughly mastered the chaos of his own inner world that he can face the chaos of the outer world with a profound and unshakable peace. He has not crushed his emotions. He has enlisted them in the service of his highest self. Thank you for your dedication to this journey of self-mastery. The discipline to build and live by your own inner code is the noblest and most rewarding path a man can walk. If this guide has provided you with value, please like the video, comment with the law that was most impactful for you, and subscribe to Stoic Dominion for more wisdom on the path to an unshakable life.